Hi, my name's Jay and this is my lovely G500 that I'm now sadly putting up for sale. I've had this car since 2015, I believe it was, and I bought it from a member of the G-Wagon Owners Association after looking for several years for a car that fit my specifications. I wanted a G500 after having been a G-Wagon fan for all of my life. I wanted one of my own, and I wanted a long wheelbase, and I wanted one of the specific years of sort of 1999 early 2000, because in my opinion that's the best G-Wagons you can get that sort of age, and it took me a long time to find one. So this one came up for sale. I went to have a look and I bought it there and then, because this was exactly what I wanted, and it had taken a very long time to find one. So this is a G500 1999 V-Reg. It's a left-hand drive. I believe, if I remember correctly, this was originally Germany registered, but certainly the last two owners are from the UK. The owner before me was, as I say, the member of the G-Wagon Owners Association. I believe he's the president of the Owners Association. And before that was a gentleman who lives in Edinburgh, who has his own restaurant and is a French gentleman. And he used to use the car to basically travel back and forth from France to Scotland regularly. So it was his car to do his Euro trips in. And over those years, that's when a lot of the miles were put onto this truck. In my ownership, I've only done probably 10,000 miles at most, and that's since 2015. But since then, I've really transformed this car. I don't think I've gone over the top with modifications. You see a lot of G-Wagons that have been, you know, how can I put it, not so eloquently upgraded, you know. And this one I think is an exception. It's the first thing that I did when I bought the car was obviously go through everything, all the mechanicals. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that this car was going to be totally reliable, because I also planned to use it for some of the longer trips that we were going to do. So I went through all the mechanicals, made sure everything was okay. First thing I did, I put a new water pump on it, because I know this engine very well, and it's extremely reliable, but it does suffer a little bit from common issues such as the water pump. Put a new water pump on, had a new belt at the same time, resealed all the cam covers. Whenever I buy a car, I totally service the car. So I had new spark plugs, new air filter, new oil filter, all the filters were changed top to bottom, and basically the car was gone through thoroughly. These cars still have grease nipples on the underside. All of those were serviced. All of the diffs and the transfer case fluids were changed. And by the way, I only ever use Mercedes-Benz parts and fluids, so everything was Mercedes-Benz parts. There was no skimping anywhere. That was the first thing I did. Then after that, I used the truck for a couple of years, and then I decided that it was time to have the paintwork looked at, because it was original still. It was okay, but it was looking a little bit flat and a little bit tired. And at the time, I had a Mercedes SL in this colour, which is called DESIGNO LCP, and it's a pearl effect flip paint colour which Mercedes offered for the special edition SLs. And we decided to completely do a full respray. I have all the pictures of the respray process, and we finished it in the DESIGNO LCP, which is a very expensive paint, very expensive colour, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. Today it's threatening to rain, heavy winds, so the colour does not really pop. You have to have it in the sunlight, and it gives you a sort of greeny purple effect. It's really nice in the sunlight, but you can't see that. And also the panels of the G-Wagon are quite straight and angular, so it doesn't really do the colour that much justice. You can really see the effect on the curved sections. Really nice colour. And this was done by one of the best painters that I know, that I deal with, a chap called Ty Bates, locally. He stripped the car down and everything was repainted properly. This was not just a quick flash over, this was a proper repaint. Everything down to the parking sensor surrounds were removed, everything was painted separately, so that this was a lasting job. It wasn't just done just to have a quick flip over. Everything that I did to this G-Wagon, it was with the intention of keeping it forever. So I was never ever planning to sell the truck. So so that was done, and I also changed the alloys to the later G63 style AMG alloys. Now these are not fake, these are not replica, and these are not refurbished. These are original, out of the box from Mercedes. I bought these from a Mercedes dealer, and as you can see, they're still in very, very good condition. I think they're a couple of years old now. Even Mercedes valve caps, and those were put on the vehicle. I still do have the 18-inch wheels. The buyer of the car can have a choice of these wheels or the 18-inch wheels, whichever they prefer. I also changed the grille at the same time, which is an original AMG G63 grille. I thought they went nicely with the wheels and everything, so I changed it, but I've got the original, which is already painted in this special colour, so if someone wanted, you could just put the original grille on and it would be back to normal. I added side steps. These are original Mercedes side steps. They were brand new when I got them. I think I paid a lot of money for those side steps, but I wanted side steps just because this vehicle actually has got off-road springs on. The previous owner put off-road springs on, so it's a little bit higher off the ground, and it's not so easy to get into without the side steps. So so I put those on, and yeah, those are original Mercedes side steps, and they're in very good condition. I wax oil the complete car. I think I've done that a couple of times when I first bought it, and also later again. I call it wax oil, but actually I use a product called Dinitrol, which is very good. It may need a little bit of reapplication in areas because the G-Wagon is fairly exposed on the underside, but it's a very good product that keeps the underside looking good. I have just done a load of maintenance items. I've replaced the front shock absorbers. I've replaced the front steering drag link, so it's a big expensive item, again genuine Mercedes. Both of the tie rod ends, so that all the steering components on the front have been replaced. All three links have been replaced. What else can I tell you? All the brakes are brand new. I replaced the brakes about a year ago with aftermarket items, Brembo items, and I wasn't happy with them. The drums rusted up, and I started to get a little bit of vibration, so I took them off and I put on Mercedes genuine brake discs and pads, and as you can see, if I can get in there, I painted the hubs black so that they don't rust before I put them on, because you don't want to see rusty hubs. It just looks horrible. So that was all done. I've replaced brake pipes front to rear, and various other brake pipes on the rear. I'm sure I replaced all the brake flexi pipes as well, and various other parts while I was there. Also, at some point during my ownership early on, I did add the rear seats in the boot. These were very, very hard to find, but I found a set in Spain, and I shipped them over. And then I'll tell you about the retrim in a minute, but when I did have the car retrimmed, I had them retrimmed to match. Now these technically can take 2 people per side, making the car a 9-seater, but I've only fitted a single seat belt on each one because that's how they came. So at the moment it's a 7-seater, but if you do need 9 seats, then this could be a 9-seater. You just need to add 2 more seat belts, lap seat belts, to make it all legal. Okay, they just fold away. This is just a protective mat that I use here. The original factory mat is there. This is just a cigarette lighter port that I use for a cooler box or other items when we're touring. Okay. Just show you in the back here. Nice leather interior. Heated seats. I've got heated seats in the back. I fitted these when we retrimmed. The paint still feels, oh by the way, the paint has been ceramic coated as well, so it's technically shouldn't need polishing or waxing. It's been ceramic coated, and the rain's just started there, so I'll jump in the truck and tell you a little bit more. Okay, so as you can see on the inside, the interior is not standard. When I did the paint work and we were stripping the car down, I decided that actually I wouldn't mind to have all the interior redone as well. So while it was in the body shop, I removed all the seats, all the door cards and everything, and took it over to my trimmer, who is a fantastic trimmer. His name's Lol Smith, and he is an absolutely fantastic trimmer. Well, he's actually passed away now, but before he passed, he used to trim private jets and private rail cabins and things like that, and he's a very, very meticulous guy. So he's looked after, he retrimmed this car for me, and he asked me what leather I wanted, and we chose this. It's called Nutmeg Leather, and it's from a Scottish company called the Bridge of Weir. Very, very nice, soft, supple leather in beautiful condition. It's not worn at all. It's lovely feeling, warm leather, and this is actually the colour that I always wanted. I've seen this brown leather in some modern cars, and it really looks nice. It doesn't always photograph very well, so it may not come out great in this video, but I think in the flesh it looks really nice. It's a very inviting colour. It was originally black, so this has been changed, but it's been done extremely well. Everything was being trimmed, including those jump seats in the back. I also removed the headlining, and that was done in a grey velour, okay, by our trimmer as well. It's makes a massive difference, because the old headlining on this, believe it or not, was just like a vinyl, and it was a horrible finish. I couldn't believe that Mercedes would let a G-Wagon leave the factory like that. It wasn't a very nice finish at all, but this is a lovely velour, and it's all in lovely condition. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the rest of the stuff in the car. So we have here, let me just start the car up. 129,000 miles it's done. Like I said, I think I bought it when it was on 118 or 119,000 miles. No malfunctions, of course. I had this Clarion system fitted by a professional audio fitter. Still got the protective plastic on the screen. Okay, so this has got navigation. It's also got a DAB kit fitted. This is an Alpine DAB, so it picks up all the DAB stations and comes through this system. You can also connect your phone through it to USB and all the usual things. It's all in the glove box there, USB wires and all that sort of stuff. It's also got a reversing camera. Pop it into reverse and it will come up. There we go. Okay, I thought that was going to be an embarrassing moment there, but no, it did work. There we go. Reversing camera works perfectly. And by the way, all the original parking sensors still work as well, no problem. Okay, this is a flip screen, so you can flip that away, and you've got all the aircon controls. The aircon works ice cold. You flip this over to cold, flip that over, and it will be ice cold within seconds. It's fantastic. These are all the low range, high range controls. I don't use them very often, but I do test them out every now and again, just to keep everything working, and everything works, I know that. Heated seats all work. Okay, they heat up very, very quickly. This is your gear selection for the high and low range. So that's all there. I've never used that, if I'm honest. I use this car on the road. I've never been off-road in it at all, and I don't think I'd ever need to. By the way, this stereo does work with the steering wheel controls. There we go, see, look, volume, all works through there, so which is good. So you can have iPod, you can have navigation. Auxiliary 2 is the DAB radio side of it, which is what it's playing now. Capital, if I change it over to BBC Radio Extra, you'll see just flip straight over. Okay. I put a better DAB antenna in there, so it does pick up stations nicely without losing them. Sunroof all works. If I can get this camera to flip around, let me just show you the sunroof. All works really nice. Okay, there we go. Lovely. Okay. Right, so what else can I tell you about this car now? Like I said, I've looked after this car without any regard to expense. I've always, you know, the way I thought about this car was I was going to keep it forever, and there was never going to be any, you know, reason to sell it. So here we go. You know, but I looked for this car for a very, very long time. It's the one that I wanted. Now the later G-Wagons moved to the 2000 sort of C-Class interior, which was tacky and cheap in my opinion. Mercedes really made a mistake there. It was a cheap interior. They had an electronic transfer case selection which was prone to failure. They had Tiptronic gearboxes which had problems. This is the non-Tiptronic 5-speed gearbox, which is super reliable. In fact, I can't remember ever having any issue with this car. But I'll just run you through some of the main things obviously I've done with this car. I've got an A4 page here. So like I said, I changed lots of things when I first bought it, like the full service, spark plugs, fuel filter, rear springs. I've changed a oh yeah, I did a full repaint, of course, as I've told you. Fuel filters, oil change, spark plugs again, resealed the rocker covers, transmission service, fuel filter, all the wiper blades, V-belt, poly the fan belt, transmission service, water pump, did I already say that? Thermostat, all the new wheels, fitted side steps, as I said, the Nexon Rodian tyres, which obviously went with the new wheels. Changed all the transfer case and diff oils. Some spare keys. I bought some new spare keys from Mercedes, so that I think I've got a few of these the new Mercedes flip keys that I've never used. They're still in the packet from Mercedes. What else have we got? Oh yeah, it's got a tracker fitted, of course. I fitted a tracker which can be transferred to the new owner. I fitted new headlamps. These are the 2008 clear headlamps, which give you a much better lamp. New fog lamps, new front fog lamps, because they were just a little bit worn and looked a bit tired inside. Greased all the underside grease nipples, new brake pipes, all the new window seals, new door pockets for this door here because it's just broken. Sorry, I can't see very well here. Various trims. When we did the repaint, we replaced all the roof gutter trims, which are these black trims up here. All of them were replaced. Okay, because when you take them off, they're aluminium and they bend, so we replaced them all with brand new. I think that cost me a small fortune, if I remember. All of these seals are brand new. All of these window seals, all of them are brand new. All of these side rubbers are brand new, because when you take the old ones off, they go out of shape. So all of these side rubbers are brand new, and you can imagine, you know, we spent a lot of money making sure that was all good. Even the bottom trims here, they're all brand new. Okay, so they're a couple of years old when we repainted the car. Yes, I carried out the retrim. We've got that. I put a new starter motor on because the old one was getting a little bit lazy. I had a new ignition barrel. That was a preventative measure because on Mercedes I've had trouble in the past. Older Mercedes